morning, everyone.
Good morning.
We're certainly grateful to have the opportunity to have the grace and mercy of God to see another day. It's a beautiful day, and it's even beautiful when we have people that are here from this council meeting. So we certainly appreciate everyone being here. And at this time, I am calling the meeting to order. And I would like to call on Pastor Minister Steve Watkins of the City of Faith to lead us with the invocation that we can stand and remain standing. And Councilman Day will lead us with the pledge.
Father God, we come before you on today, Lord God, I ask you to clear your heart and mind as we go into this council meeting, Lord God. We ask that you give us peace, Lord God, that you give us the ability to grow us, to prosper us, and to make us better. Because in your Son Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Salute. Pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. Watkins, and thank you, Councilman Day. Thank you all for standing, respecting to their important endeavors. With that being said, at this time, it gives me great privilege to call our HR Director, Stephanie Chastain, and our City Manager to show recognition and give all the honors due for increments of 5 years of services here in this city for people who give of themselves. So with that, where is Johnson? Oh, there you are. Mr. Chastain, come on down.
Thank you very much, Mayor. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
As Mayor stated, this is a highlight for us. This is an opportunity that we have to publicly recognize and thank our employees for their hard work and dedication that they put in each and every day serving our community and providing services to our citizens. These are the service anniversaries that we have for the month of March. We do these in 5-year increments. So we have 3 this month, all with 10 years. We have with our finance department, Mandy Dodge, with 10 years of service. I want you to step right back. Anyone want to say a few words if you'd like to?
Speech.
I'm just happy to be here, so thank you for continuing to give me the opportunity to be here and serve the community. Thank you.
One of the things, excuse me, one of the things we do, when I say we as a council, we encourage all our team members, employees to get those 25 years. So you have 15 more, and you're down here now. And the reason why is because we know that Alabama has one of the, in our opinion, is one of the best retirement systems in the union. And so, you know, it's all about people, and we want them to have an even better quality of life when they stop serving. So 15 more, okay?
You gotta watch it too, Mayor. She puts all those on there in that door.
So we have to keep our eyes
So she got to stack everything
We had 2 others, don't look like they were able to be here this morning, but we'll tell them thank you for all that they do for us. We have with our Public Works Department, Mr. Jimmy Bryant with 10 years and Mr. Shane Eldridge with 10 years.
Okay, thank you. And man, we pass that on to them to the generation. Okay, thank you. Thank you, champions. Thank you, Mr. Hunt. Proceeding on at this time, I'd like to call upon our clerk for the reading of the proclamation recognizing National Child Abuse Prevention Month and presenting, we will present the proclamation to Ms. Phenix City. Even, so we'll have you come down and walk down, okay? Mrs. Davis.
Whereas every child is filled with tremendous promise, and we all have a collective responsibility to prevent adverse childhood experiences, foster the potential of every child, and promote positive childhood experiences. And whereas child abuse and neglect is a serious problem affecting every segment of our community, and finding solutions requires from everyone. And whereas our children are our most valuable resources and will shape the future of Phenix City, Alabama, and beyond. And whereas childhood trauma, including abuse and neglect, can have long-term psychological, emotional, and physical effects throughout an individual's lifetime and impact future generations. And whereas protective factors are conditions that reduce or eliminate risk and promote the social, emotional, and developmental well-being of children. And whereas effective child abuse prevention activities succeed because of the partnerships created between child welfare professionals, education, health, community, and faith-based organizations, businesses, law enforcement agencies, and families. And whereas we acknowledge the efforts of organizations such as Advocating for Children of Trauma and the Russell County Child Advocacy Center, among others, for their dedication to supporting children of abuse. And whereas we acknowledge that we must work together as a community to increase awareness about child abuse and continue to promote the social and emotional well-being of children in a safe, stable, and nurturing environment. And whereas prevention remains the best defense for our children and families. Now therefore I, Eddie Lowe, Mayor of the City of Phenix City, Alabama, and on behalf of the City Council, do hereby proclaim April 2026 as National Child Abuse Prevention Month. And Phenix City, together, we can create a community where every child can grow up happy, healthy, and safe with hope of their future.
Thank you, Mrs. Davis, for the reading of the proclamation. And even thank you for your platform. We all know, or we realize, as we get older, how important children are. So we do have the responsibility, as the scripture says in Psalm 71:18, we got to prepare the next generation. So even we appreciate what you're doing for young people. And on behalf of myself as well as this council, we would like to present you with this proclamation. And we pray and hope that you continue to keep that passion for kids, and we appreciate you representing the city. Thank you. We gotta take a picture. Come on, Mimi, come on down. Let's take one with her, and then we're gonna take them. We'll take them with the rest of our family. And she is an Auburn student. Even though she's going to Auburn, we still love her.
War Eagle is right.
We still love her.
You want mom?
Yeah, you all come on in and get a picture.
I wouldn't be able to
Stand right.
Just trickle up, you hear me? No, Mayor Lowe, you stand with me. There you go. You're important. Thank you.
Thank you.
so
Keep
much.
going.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. I'll take care, okay? You all be careful going back. She has a short drive.
I do.
She
Just
does.
got a bit, and I get an hour back, so it's working in my favor.
Thank you all. Thank you so much. You all be careful now.
We will. Thank you.
Proceeding on, council. Under the city clerk, I'd like to ask the council for a motion for the approval of the March 16, 2025 work session. Have a motion. Motion from Councilman Moore. Lawrence. We have a motion, may I have a second? Second. Second. Councilman Bailey. Call for the vote.
Councilmember Day? Councilmember Green?
Yes.
Councilmember Bailey?
Yes.
Councilmember Florence?
Yes.
Mayor Lo?
Yes.
Thank you.
Next, council, at this time, I'd like to call for a motion for the approval of the March 17th council meeting. May I have a motion?
Motion to approve it.
Motion.
Second.
Second. Lawrence. Okay. Mrs. Davis?
Councilmember Day? Councilmember Green?
Yes.
Councilmember Bailey?
Yes.
Councilmember Florence?
Yes.
Mayor Lo?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Proceeding on, council, at this time, is there any unfinished business that we need to discuss? If not, we will proceed on. And I do know that in our agenda under the resolution, we have building first, but we're going to do the finance first. I will, council at your pleasure, I will ask for a motion and a second. I will not call for the vote until after the video is shown, due to the fact that we would like our council member that was not here yesterday, Steve Bailey, to be able to see, so we can all be on the same page to validate the strength and financial situation of our city. So with that being said, at this time, council, I will call upon our clerk. We do have a resolution in reference to accepting the audit financial statement as presented by Robinson Grimes and Company PC fiscal year ending September the 30th, 2024. Mrs. Davis.
Whereas Robinson Grimes and Company PC, certified public accountants, has completed the audit of the financial statements of the City of Phenix City, Alabama, as required for the fiscal year ended September 30th, 2024. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Phenix City, Alabama, that the audited financial statements as presented by Robinson Grimes and Company PC, certified public accountants, for the fiscal year ended September 30th, 2024, are accepted as presented, and final payment for these statements is hereby authorized. Passed and approved and adopted this 7th day of April, 2026.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Davis, for the reading of the resolution. Council, we've heard the resolution. At this time, I'd like to call for a motion, please. Motion, Councilman Florence, and second, Councilman Day. All right. I'm not going to call for the vote at this time because we would like to, again, as I explained, show the video for our council members. But it is up here, you can see it. Okay. All right. And with it, I know we all want to, it's always great to have validation because you know a lot of people don't read what we say. Individually as a council, and correct. So it's really very hard to me to have time to speak on behalf of the numbers of the city. Ron?
I appreciate it, Mayor, council members, appreciate the opportunity. I also have with me here Stephen Boyd, he's one of our partners, but he worked close with LaBruda and doing the audit and getting these financial statements to you all, so again, appreciate him being here. Again, I'll be brief in my remarks, but just kind of walk through some of the high points of the audit. Again, the financials look good. So if you'll turn to the auditor's report, it's right there behind the table of contents. So it just talks about what we as auditors are doing, and our job is to give an opinion on these financial statements, and our opinions in the second paragraph. I'm not going to read it all, but basically says that these financial statements are correct in accordance with generally accepted accounting principles. So clean audit opinion. After the opinion, which goes on a couple of pages, is the management discussion and analysis. So then again, this is something Lorena puts together. She does a good job of highlighting, increases, decreases from the previous year. So it's a good place to look just for the highlights of what went on. What I'm going to talk about is the statement of net position first. It's on page 11 in your book. And it has three columns. It has the governmental activities column, the business type activities, and the total column. So this is the primary government. Governmental activities is basically everything except for the public utilities fund. So if we look at that column, the governmental activities column, the total assets, you got about 185.8 billion of assets. And this financial includes everything. It includes your capital assets, and it also includes your notes payable and bonds payable. So if you look down at your liabilities, so all your bonds payable, including your pension liability, your other post-employment benefit liability, total liabilities of 100.3 billion. And then you get to your net position, which is basically your assets minus liabilities. You got these deferred inflows, outflows, but net position is 92.3 billion. So that's basically your equity for all your governmental activities. And of that, 41.8 billion is unrestricted. assets. And then other parts of it is restricted for capital projects, 3.2 million, debt service, 2.6 million, and then the unrestricted portion is 41.8 million. And then the next column is your business type activities. And actually, I want to talk about that when we get into the fund financial statements, because they're basically the same for the business type activities. So if you flip over to page, we'll skip page 12 and talk about the income statement for the fund level. And page 13 is the balance sheet of the governmental funds. So this is different than what we looked at earlier on the fund level financial statements. It does not include your capital assets. It does not include your long-term liabilities. So it's more of a current financial measurement focus. So again, you have, without fixed assets, you have about 76.5 million in the general fund. You got liabilities of 2.6 million, which is your payables and accrued expenses. And you get into your fund balance. And so your total fund balance, which again is your equity, is about 73.5 million. And of that, 62.1 million is unassigned. And then another 10.9 million is just what y'all committed internally as a council for operating reserves. So again, if you look at the balance sheet, the other governmental funds are the capital improvement fund, the Southern Mill Fund, and the public building authority. And then there's some smaller funds that make up the total governmental funds. If you flip to page 14, it's basically your income statement. And again, this is by fund. So looking at the general fund, you had total revenues of 58.3 million. Total expenses, 43.1 million. And then you had some transfers in and out that decreased that income by 968,000 to give that net change in fund balance of 14.3 million. So again, that's your net income in the general fund for the year is 14.3 million. So that's where it increased your fund balance from last year was 59.3 million to this year's up to 73.5 million. And then the other funds are there as well. If you flip over to page 16 and 17, this is the budget to actual for the general fund. So the far left column is the original budget that you, the council, adopted. Then there are any amendments during the year that adjusted to get to the final budget. And then you have the actual column, which we just went over, and then any variance for the final budget. So again, y'all budgeted your final revenues. Your budget was 51.1 million. You came in at 58.3. So you had a positive variance with your budget of 7.2 million on the revenue side. And then the expense side is by each department. And just going to go down the variance, general government, you had 3.3 million less expenditure than what you budgeted. Public safety about 3.7 million less than was budgeted. Public works, 1.2 million less. Culture and recreation, 932,000 less. So you get down to that change in fund balance and talk about 14.2 million. Your original budget had budgeted that income of about 3 million. You made these budget adjustments that was anticipating a loss of 2.8 million, but it ended up coming in at a net income of 14.2 million. Page 18 and 19.
Any questions on the board? Okay,
Yeah, if you got any questions, just stop me. Statement of net position on page 18 and 19. So this is the public utilities fund. So again, it's got its current assets, which is mainly cash of 14 million. It's got some restricted cash of 4.3 million. And then its capital assets are about 78.9 million. So your total assets are 97.2 million. get down into your current liabilities of 5.2 million, and then your long-term liabilities, again, is your notes payable, bonds payable, pension and OPEB liabilities of 50 million. So your total liabilities are 56.1 million, which gets you down to your net position of 43.1 million. And of that, 34.1 has already been invested in capital assets. You got 3 million restricted for debt service, but you got 5.9 million that's unrestricted. So you get over to your income statement there on page 19, and operating revenues 16.1 million, operating expenses 13.2, so you got operating income of about 2.9 million. And then you get into your interest income, interest expense, and system development fees for your other non-operating laws. And you had some capital contributions to get into your change in net position, which is your net income for the public utilities fund, which is 3.6 million. So again, positive income statement for the public utilities fund. And again, we talked about this for years. It's been loss after loss after loss. The last couple of years has been good look at that income, because that unrestricted net position, there used to not be any, it was negative. And so to now have an unrestricted net position of 5.9 million, again, it's from that positive net income over the last couple of years.
It's also safe to say cut from 3,000 to 1,500, and I always should kind of have a lot of mind. So I'm saying that for me, because it's going to be some other things kind of that hopefully will increase how that position within the proprietary fund. So it's all business, it's good business.
That's right. And obviously, yeah, you got to generate income and cash. You got bond payments, debt payments that got to be made. Obviously, there's always capital projects in the public utilities fund that need to be done. So it does need to generate some income for sure. Page 20 and 21 is just a statement of cash flows on the public utilities fund. So you had $7.5 million provided by your operations. You had some non-capital financing of about $528,000. So you took that cash provided by operations and you went and, like we just said, bought some capital assets, constructed capital assets of $4.2 million, paid down principal of $2.3 million upon the bonds, paid down principal and notes payable of $60,000, and paid interest of about $1.2 million. So that used about $7.8 million of your cash. Then you had some interest on your investments of $470,000. You got you to the net increase in cash for the year of $706,000. So again, a positive cash flow statement. So that's the main financials. After that, you get into the notes, and I'm not going to go through all those details. There's a lot of information that backs up some of those numbers we just went over. It goes into details about the long-term debt, the different debt issuances. Also goes into detail of the pension liability and the post-employment liability. I'm going to ask you to flip over to the compliance section, which again is toward the back. It's after page 67. So this is our report on income and internal control over financial reporting. So again, this is required in the governmental audit. So this is where we report our findings. We have the same findings as we've had the last few years, which is like from 2024-01 through 2024-03. And we'll talk about those in a minute. No problems with the report on compliance with laws and other matters. So we did not find any instances of non-compliance that are required to be reported under these standards. Then the next report is required for federal programs. So when you receive over 750, when you expend over $750,000 of federal monies in a year. You're required to have a single audit. So our opinion is there in the second paragraph. City complied with all material respects with compliance requirements referred to above the direct and material effect on each of its major federal programs. So again, including the report on your federal programs. Page 73 shows the schedule of expenditures of federal awards. So again, the major program this year was the American Rescue Plan Act. The money was spent $898,000. It also says you had some DOT expenditures of about $433,000, DCA of $5,600, and a couple other smaller grants for $14,000. So total expenditures for the year was $1.35 million of federal monies. So page 75, again, it talks about the material weaknesses I mentioned in that internal control report. Again, the financial reporting process, and that's just talking about the preparation of these financial statements. This book, obviously a bunch of disclosures in here that y'all rely on the external auditors to help you with. So again, we're just required to report that. The second one there on the top of page 76 is limited segregation of duties. Again, we just let you all know that, hey, make sure management is overlooking the financial function and also you as the board due to those limited segregation of duties. And then the third item is the bank reconciliations and other accounting reconciliations. Again, just been behind in some of that. That's why part of the reason we're just now delivering the September 30, 2024 audit. So again, they're working on improving that with staff and trying to improve that. So that's all I have on the audit. Any questions?
Yeah, we did the order necessary, the one, those ones was special bonds.
Yeah, so like when we issue bonds, you have to say, hey, this is what we're going to spend this bond money on. So you can't just use that money for payroll. It has to be for a specific purpose. And then there's money that's restricted for debt service to pay off the debt.
So that is before we are concerned about debt.
You what?
We are concerned about debt.
That's right.
And actually, they all have it. We are still in the 39 grade years. Yeah, we'll try to get up here. And then one of the big is that's my son's going on right now. As high school income, that's part of that. Hopefully, it will go. Any questions? So, good report. Two things. First is that we're in compliance. 17 financial world, they'll say the strongest lives. So, not knowing things. There's not anything you want to say, take it on that. That's fine.
slate longer than I think any of us would want, Loretta included. And again, a lot of reasons for that. But when she gives it to us, we don't have a lot of adjustments. I mean, you'll see some adjustments behind this report I'm about to give you. But a lot of those are coming from her as she's still writing out things. She's trying to get to us as she wraps things up. So a lot of those entries are coming from her. It's not like we're coming in and having to make a bunch of adjustments to clean up the books. She's doing a good job of that. Again, we talked about it before, just encourage, try to, get it to you all earlier so that it's not so late. Because again, if there was something going on and it's this far out, it would be an issue. But again, I think with better staffing, hopefully that timeline can improve. No, we have not had, again, we've got these material weaknesses that we've identified. Again, that say, look, y'all can improve these things. But yeah, even though it's been late, when we come in to do the audit, we're not finding anything, misappropriation of money or anything like that in our audit.
Last question is in for y'all, do things to run several books?
Yes.
Now, I have something to do as well, and this is the independent board, has to do with budget.
We're independent. If we were not independent, we could not perform this audit, absolutely.
Yes, that was one.
Yes.
But it's also, it's outside the rest. That's why they have to do. All I said is understand. That all the years, that's all those things to see is when people make us on that side. We have to deal with that. We have to deal with that box. So I have to go out and talk to people. Instead of all this.
Can you speak to the limited segregation of the duties in terms of economy on the state?
Yeah, so again, it's pretty normal to have a limited segregation of duties finding. It's not unusual. Again, with limited staff and turnover in staff, there's not as, the duties aren't segregated as well as would be done in a perfect scenario. Again, it would probably require a larger staff and people with more experience for her to be able to turn over some of those duties to others. I mean, there is segregation on them. We're just saying it's limited segregation of duties.
It's not my fault.
Right.
Which is, a lot of times, I'm not saying typical is good, typical is because of the lack of employees and experience, as you say. But for the most part, the main thing you are in compliance. And I do want to mention this is that, any council member anywhere, I'm not just talking about anything city throughout this country, if they're not leading by integrity and character and morals, then that's why the money started kind of routine things. I know routine, but this council has always, and will always lead with that. Those two ingredients, integrity or great character and morals. So I know a lot of people think and say that money's been taken in. I do know the experience when I first came, when I think I can speak for the rest of them, that people always try to put that at the end to say this and that, but at the end of the day, the truth always walks out wide. So we have a lot of things need everyone to know they operate laws.
I also put a report up there, again, nothing, it's just a required communication of those charged with governance, which is the city council. So again, if there were issues that we identified during the audit, we would put them in this report. So nothing, again, unusual. Like I said, we did attach the adjustments, which is we're required to do. And again, a lot of these are, again, coming from Maria after she's given us the beginning trial balance. So again, nothing unusual in that letter, but did want to get that in those hands. So.
Serious business. County and everything wants. If you don't have people in leadership position that's going to lead those with most of them not important attributes and you start at cost. We think about it. We know the cost, you lead it that way. Yeah,
I have one, Mr. Rutledge, you've had a chance to compile all the numbers for our city, based off of what you have in the past year or two. What are some of the things that we can work on as a city? We're in good financial standing, but could you identify any strength and weakness or threat that we're under some pretty rough, well, the nation is, what we are as a nation, and trying to just control the inflation and all. What are some of the things that our city could do based off of what you've seen as an increase in different areas? And we know we're going to have expenditures, but what are, once again, one or two things that we could do to say, the next 3 to 5 years, you could be here, you could do this, this cycle.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, y'all have made significant improvements from where y'all were. I mean, y'all have been doing that. Again, a lot of governments, from Mr. Hunter earlier before the meeting, there was all these COVID-related funds that these governments got. And so sometimes they got too bloated, and so, some of these entities are having to shrink back down and get used to not having these federal funds. I think y'all already use those obviously for their purpose and use them to fund some projects that you didn't have to tap, your general fund. So you have seen your general fund reserves go up, you've seen your public utilities funds go up. And again, I would just encourage, the city, and I know y'all are doing that, but you got to be looking forward for infrastructure, think about public utilities and roads as well. You've got to continue to look forward to, hey, look, we've got to continue to show profit in this utilities fund, to fund these projects to make sure, because again, you got all kind of environmental laws and regulations that you got to deal with, and there's more coming, and that's the thing, you don't know what's coming. So I would encourage y'all to continue to build your fund balance. These gas prices affect everybody and certainly affect y'all's budget. You get people riding around, and so those costs, when y'all prepared that budget, you had no idea these gas prices. That's right.
It's a moving document.
That's right.
So in other words, to sum up, it's not this long time, later on, just saying that now this part of it, basically, we got to keep our hands on the steering wheel. At the end of the day. Which is not, they don't need a good thing, but we don't want to know how to use people financial standpoint.
All right, thank you.
Thanks.
I drop my glasses.
Thank you all so much. I'm looking forward to this. Nowadays, but it's council, city staff, those attributes I spoke of earlier.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you all again. Two reasons we wanted Councilmember Bailey, who's not here, to be able to participate and see the video from yesterday. And also we wanted our citizen to be able to see it, to show and validate that this council has, and the city manager and the team has been stewards of the taxpayers' money. We don't take it lightly, we take it very seriously, and it has been shown that we are stewards. And I do know I stated yesterday two things. One of those things is that we are in compliance. The other thing is that we're in great financial situation, the city is, and we can really pay all our debts off. But the other thing too is that we are up to par as far as the audit. As this is 2026, as you heard and have been able to see, that was for audit 2024. Well, just like the taxes, and some of us haven't done our taxes for 2025, so we're in the process of doing the audit for 2025. So we're up to task in that part, and we're just very thankful to be in that position because we hadn't always been in that position. But in spite of not being in that position, we have done things stewardly with the taxpayer money, and it has been validated. So we did get the motion from Councilmember Florence, and we got a second from Councilmember Day. And at the pleasure of this council, at this time, I would like to call for the vote. Mrs. Davis?
Councilmember Day?
Yes.
Councilmember Green?
Yes.
Councilmember Bailey?
Yes.
Councilmember Florence?
Yes.
Mayor Lo?
Yes.
Thank you.
Proceeding on, council, on the building department. I'm sorry.
Discussion. Just a few words. I had Ms. Copeland bring her team here today from the finance department. City manager, I want to say something to you all because I want you all to feel the effects of when we have audits and the things you have to hear out there in the public. A lot of things that are deceiving. So I want you all to know, and say it where the young people are saying, I see you all. And I see the job that you're doing, and I see that y'all are doing your best to do it. We get great report. We know we gotta do some other things, but y'all have done a good job. That's how I asked Ms. Copeland to bring y'all here today, so you can see what the council has to go through, what I have to go through, and what the public, what they get from an independent source that's done the audit. So I appreciate all the work that you all are doing, and that you continue to do, and say thank you all for that. Because there's a lot of places that don't have it. And as you all can see, what was read off, we're doing fantastic financially. There's a lot of cities our size and larger that wish we was in that shape. But the details, the day-to-day work that you have to hand over, and the grueling work that you all have to do, people don't see that. And sometimes you feel not appreciated, but you are appreciated because I know what it takes. So thank you all.
Thank you all. Appreciate it. Just always keep your heart in your work. When you do that, you can't never go wrong. Thank you, Mr. Hunt. Thank you all so much. Now, council, proceeding on the building department. We have a resolution in reference to authorizing the mayor and city manager to sign change order number 6 with Phenix Order Construction for additional framing for the roof hill and cricket, additional fascia, blocking and nailers, and roof installation and flashing for an additional amount of $13,800 and a total amount not to exceed $1,881,488. Mrs. Davis.
Whereas the City of Phoenix City, Alabama, in Resolution 2026-33, dated February 3rd, 2026, did approve change order number 5 with Ben Gordon Construction Company, Inc. for an adjustment in the additional amount of $6,123, causing the contractual amount to be $1,867,688. And whereas it has been determined that a change order is deemed necessary, more specifically as follows. Change order number 6. Number 1 item. Additional framing for the roof hill and cricket, additional fascia, blocking and nailers, roof insulation and flashing. In addition, $13,800. Total amount of change order number 6, $13,800. Whereas such a change order will result in a contractual adjustment of an additional $13,800 and causing the contractual amount to be $1,881,488. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Phoenix City, Alabama, that the mayor and city manager are hereby authorized and directed to sign the change order number 6 contract documents with Ben Gordy Construction for the above referenced project. Passed, approved, and adopted this 7th day of April, 2026.
Okay. Council, we've heard the reading of the resolution. At this time, I'd like to ask the council for a motion, please.
Motion to approve.
I have a motion from Councilman Day. May I have a second?
Second.
Second from Councilman Day. Comments or discussion? Okay. Mrs. Davis?
Councilmember Day?
Yes.
Councilmember Green?
Yes.
Councilmember Bailey?
Yes.
Councilmember Florence?
Yes.
Mayor Lo?
Yes.
Thank you.
Proceeding on, council on the Engineering and Public Works Department. We have a resolution in reference to authorizing Alabama Power to install one 53-watt LED street light, 5,001 to 8,500 lumens, type 2, grade 4,000K, at the corner of 15th Street and 14th Avenue on pole number 6-020043. Mrs. Davis.
Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Phoenix City, Alabama, that the city will authorize Alabama Power to install the following streetlights and pay the monthly electric service to Alabama Power Company for the street light as follows. Number 1, install one 53-watt LED street light, 5,001 to 8,500 lumens, type 2, gray, 4,000K, at the corner of 15th Street and 14th Avenue on pole number 6-020043. Passed, approved, and adopted this 7th day of April, 2026.
Okay, thank you again, Mrs. Davis. Council, you've heard the resolution. May I have a motion from the council, please?
Motion to approve.
All right, we have a motion from Councilmember Florence. May I have a second?
Second, Mayor.
Second, Councilmember Green. Comments or discussion? All right, Mrs. Davis?
Councilmember Day?
Yes.
Councilmember Green?
Yes.
Councilmember Bailey?
Yes.
Councilmember Florence?
Yes.
Mayor Lo?
Yes.
Thank you.
Proceeding on, council. We have a resolution in reference to authorizing Alabama Power to install two 138-watt LED street lights, 14,001 to 27,000 lumens, type 3, grade 4,000K, at the intersection of Somerville Road and St. Andrews Way. Mrs. Davis.
Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Phoenix City, Alabama, that the city will authorize Alabama Power to install the following streetlights and pay the monthly electric service to Alabama Power Company for the streetlights as follows. 1, install two 138-watt LED streetlights, 14,001 to 27,000 lumens, type 3, grade 4,000K, at the intersection of Somerville Road and St. Andrews Way. Passed, approved, and adopted this 7th day of April, 2026.
Okay, thank you again, Mrs. Davis, for reading the resolution, which council we've all heard. At this time, I'd like to ask the council for a motion, please.
Motion to approve.
All right, we have a motion from Councilmember Day. May I have a second?
Second.
Second from Councilmember Bailey. Comments or discussion, council? All right, Mrs. Davis?
Councilmember Day?
Yes.
Councilmember Green?
Yes.
Councilmember Bailey?
Yes.
Councilmember Florence?
Yes.
Mayor Lo?
Yes.
Thank you.
Proceeding on, council, on the Engineering and Public Works Department, is a resolution in reference to the approval and adoption of Central City Urban Renewal and Redevelopment Plan. Mrs. Davis.
Whereas the city has engaged KPS Group to develop the Central City Urban Renewal and Redevelopment Plan. And whereas KPS Group presented the Central City Urban Renewal and Redevelopment Plan to the Planning Commission for consideration of approval. And whereas the Planning Commission voted to recommend to City Council the approval and adoption of the Central City Urban Renewal and Redevelopment Plan. Now therefore be it resolved that the City Council of the City of Phoenix City, Alabama hereby approves and adopts the Central City Urban Renewal and Redevelopment Plan. Passed, approved, and adopted this 7th day of April, 2026.
Thank you again for that. Council, you've heard the resolution. May I ask the council for a motion, please?
Motion to approve.
All right, we have a motion.
Second.
Councilmember Green and a second from Councilmember Florence. Comments or discussion? All right, Mrs. Davis?
Councilmember Day?
Yes.
Councilmember Green?
Yes.
Councilmember Bailey?
Yes.
Councilmember Florence? Yes. Mayor Lo?
Yes.
Thank you.
Next, council, is a resolution in reference to the approval and adoption of the downtown and riverfront design guidelines. Mrs. Davis.
Whereas the city has engaged KPS Group to develop the downtown and riverfront design guidelines. And whereas KPS presented the downtown and riverfront design guidelines to the Planning Commission for consideration of approval. And whereas the Planning Commission voted to recommend the City Council the approval and adoption of the downtown and riverfront design guidelines. Now therefore be it resolved that the City Council of the City of Phoenix City, Alabama hereby approves and adopts the downtown and riverfront design guidelines. Passed, approved, and adopted the 7th day of April, 2026.
Okay. Council, we've heard the resolution. This time, I'd like to ask the council for a motion, please.
Motion to approve.
Motion, Councilman Florence, and that's the second, Councilman Day.
That's right.
All right, we do have a motion, we have a second. Any comments or discussion? All right, Mrs. Davis?
Councilmember Day?
Yes.
Councilmember Green?
Yes.
Councilmember Bailey?
Yes.
Councilmember Florence? Yes. Mayor Lo?
Yes.
Thank you.
Proceeding on, council, we have a resolution in reference to authorizing the purchase of a 2023 International CD dump truck from Artex Truck Center in an amount not to exceed $81,400. Mrs. Davis.
Whereas the Streets and Drainage Division of the Engineering Public Works Department of the City of Phoenix City desires to purchase a 2023 International CD dump truck. And whereas Artex Truck Center has provided the lowest quote for a 2023 International CD dump truck in the amount of $81,400. Now therefore be it resolved that the City Council of the City of Phoenix City, Alabama does hereby authorize the purchase of a 2023 International CD dump truck from Artex Truck Center in an amount not to exceed $81,400. Passed, approved, and adopted the 7th day of April, 2026.
Thank you, Mrs. Davis. Council, you've heard the resolution. At this time, may I have a motion from the council?
Motion to approve.
Okay. Motion, Councilman Davis, second, Councilman McCormick. I didn't have to say that. We have a motion, we have a second. Comments or discussion? Mrs. Davis?
Councilmember Day?
Yes.
Councilmember Green?
Yes.
Councilmember Bailey?
Yes.
Councilmember Florence?
Yes.
Mayor Lo?
Yes.
Thank you.
Proceeding on, council, is a resolution in reference to authorizing the mayor and city manager to sign and enter into an agreement with Kim Seal Corporation to paint all stripings of the Miracle League field at Lakewood Park in an amount not to exceed $4,052. Mrs. Davis.
Whereas the City of Phoenix City has received funding to construct a Miracle League field at Lakewood Park. And whereas the new paved parking areas will require striping. And whereas the Engineering and Public Works Department has solicited 3 proposals for this scope of work, with Kim Seal, Inc. being the lowest responsible bidder in the amount of $4,052. Now therefore be it resolved that the City Council of the City of Phoenix City, Alabama does hereby authorize the mayor and city manager to sign and enter into an agreement with Kim Seal, Inc. to paint all striping for the construction documents for the Miracle League field at Lakewood Park in an amount not to exceed $4,052. Passed, approved, and adopted the 7th day of April, 2026.
Thank you again, Mrs. Davis. Council, we've heard the resolution. May I have a motion, please?
Motion to approve.
Motion from Councilmember Florence, and that's a second.
Second.
Councilmember Green. All right, we have a motion, we have a second. Comments or discussion? Call for the vote, Mrs. Davis.
Councilmember Day?
Yes.
Councilmember Green?
Yes.
Councilmember Bailey?
Yes.
Councilmember Florence?
Yes.
Mayor Lo?
Yes.
Thank you.
Next, council. There's a resolution in reference to authorizing and directing the mayor and city manager to sign change order number 1 with Brown and Sons LLC of the Miracle Field at Lakewood Park project for the additional amount of $2,800 and a total amount not to exceed $7,591.64. Mrs. Davis.
Whereas the City of Phenix City, Alabama, in Resolution 2026-74, dated March 17, 2026, contracted services of Brown and Sons LLC to install a 200-amp electrical service for the Miracle Field at Lakewood Park. And whereas during construction of the project, a scheduling conflict with paving operation will require additional work, more specifically as follows. Change order number 1. Hand dig and bore approximately 30 feet under the existing paved drive to install the 3-inch conduit for the electrical service. Whereas such a change order would result in an increase in the original contract amount of $2,800 and making the adjusted contract total $7,591.64. Now therefore be it resolved that the City Council of the City of Phenix City, Alabama does hereby authorize and direct the mayor and city manager to sign change order number 1 with Brown and Sons LLC for the Miracle Field at Lakewood Park project for the additional amount of $2,800 and a total amount not to exceed $7,591.64. Passed, approved, and adopted this 7th day of April 2026.
Thank you again, Mrs. Davis, for reading the resolution. Council, which we've all heard, at this time I'd like to ask the council for a motion, please.
Motion to approve.
Motion, Councilmember Davis, and a second.
Second.
Second, Councilmember Bailey. All right, comments or discussion? All right, Mrs. Davis.
Councilmember Day?
Yes.
Councilmember Green?
Yes.
Councilmember Bailey?
Yes.
Councilmember Florence?
Yes.
Mayor Lo?
Yes.
Thank you.
Next, council. There's a resolution in reference to awarding bid B26-02, hot mix asphalt paving, roadway, drainage, and city facility and property improvements to Robinson Paving Company. Mrs. Davis.
Whereas the City of Phenix City has solicited sealed bids for bid E26-02, hot mix asphalt paving, roadway, drainage, and city facility and property improvements. And whereas 2 bids were received from Robinson Paving Company and War Grading Contractors. And whereas the bids were competitive in most items, but Robinson Paving Company provided the better pricing on asphalt paving items, which makes up the majority of the money spent on this annual bid. Now therefore be it resolved that the City Council of the City of Phenix City, Alabama accepts the bid and enters into a contract with Robinson Paving Company. Passed, approved, and adopted this 7th day of April 2026.
Okay. Council, we've heard the resolution. At this time, I'd like to ask this council for a motion.
Motion to approve.
Motion from Councilmember Florence and second Councilmember Davis. Okay, we have that, Mrs. Davis.
Yes, sir.
Okay, any comments or discussion, council? All right, Mrs. Davis.
Councilmember Day?
Yes.
Councilmember Green?
Yes.
Councilmember Bailey?
Yes.
Councilmember Florence?
Yes.
Mayor Lo?
Yes.
Thank you.
Also, council, there's a resolution in reference to awarding bid E26-03, hot mix asphalt pickup to Robinson Paving Company. Mrs. Davis.
Whereas the City of Phenix City has solicited sealed bids for bid E26-03, hot mix asphalt pickup. And whereas Robinson Paving Company submitted the only bid meeting specifications. Now therefore be it resolved that the City Council of the City of Phenix City, Alabama accepts the bid and enters into a contract with Robinson Paving Company. Passed, approved, and adopted this 7th day of April 2026.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Davis. Need to drink a little water?
I'm good right now.
Okay.
Thank you.
Council, we've heard the resolution from our clerk. At this time, I'd like to ask this council for a motion, please.
Motion to approve.
All right, we have a motion from Councilmember Davis, and I have a second.
Second.
Second, Councilmember Bailey. Comments or discussion? All right, Mrs. Davis.
Councilmember Day?
Yes.
Councilmember Green?
Yes.
Councilmember Bailey?
Yes.
Councilmember Florence?
Yes.
Mayor Lo?
Yes.
Thank you.
And next, council, is a resolution in reference to authorizing and directing the mayor and city manager to enter into a preliminary engineering agreement with ADOT for the resurfacing of River Chase Drive from Airport Road to Somerville Road, project number STPPC-4126. Mrs. Davis.
Be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Phoenix City, Alabama as follows. That the city enter into an agreement with the state of Alabama, acting by and through the Alabama Department of Transportation relating to a project for resurfacing of River Chase Drive from Airport Road to Somerville Road. Project number STPPC-4126. CPMS reference number 100081564 and 100081565. Which agreement is before this council, and that the agreement be executed in the name of the city by the mayor and city manager for and on its behalf, and that it be attested by the city clerk and the official seal of the city be affixed thereto. Be it further resolved that upon the completion of the execution of the agreement by all parties, that a copy of such agreement be kept on file by the city. Passed, approved, and adopted the 7th day of April 2026.
Thank you again, Mrs. Davis, for the reading of the resolution, which council we've heard. And at this time, I'd like to ask this council for a motion.
Motion to approve.
All right, we have a motion from Councilmember Davis. May I have a second?
Second.
Second from Councilmember Davis. Any comments or discussion?
I have a question, Mayor. Pending the approval of the resolution, is there a timeline as to when this project would start?
Yes, ma'am. Unfortunately, this is the very early beginnings of it. So after we enter into this agreement with AlDOT, then we will start the process of picking a consultant for their engineering.
Okay.
These types of projects, this is one of the same thing as Fourth Avenue, Appalachia Road, and Southfield Road. These can, the state takes their time with these. So unfortunately, we're based off of their schedule. So it could take, a year, and we've seen them before, or we've seen them a year and a half later. So, but this is the starting process with it. So we will be able to utilize the NPO funds that are over in Columbus for this project. So it's an 80-20 match.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Moore. Any other questions, comments, or discussion? This time, I'd like to call for the vote. Mrs. Davis?
Councilmember Day?
Yes.
Councilmember Green?
Yes.
Councilmember Bailey?
Yes.
Councilmember Florence? Yes. Mayor Lo?
Yes.
Thank you.
Proceeding on, council on the fire department. Is a resolution in reference to declaring the items on the attached list as surplus to be transferred to Phoenix City Utilities Department. Mrs. Davis.
Whereas the City of Phoenix City, Alabama Fire and Rescue has items of personal property which is no longer needed for public or municipal purposes. And whereas Section 11-43-56 of the Alabama Code of 1975 authorizes the municipal governing body to dispose of unneeded personal property. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Phoenix City, Alabama, that the items on the attached list are hereby declared surplus and transferred to the Phoenix City Utilities Department. Passed, approved, and adopted this 7th day of April 2026.
Okay. Thank you, Mrs. Davis. Council, we've all heard the resolution at this time. I'd like to ask this council for a motion, please.
Motion to approve.
Motion from Councilmember Green, may I have a second?
Second.
Second from Councilmember Bailey. Any comments or discussion? All right, Mrs. Davis?
Councilmember Day?
Yes.
Councilmember Green?
Yes.
Councilmember Bailey?
Yes.
Councilmember Florence? Yes. Mayor Lo?
Yes.
Thank you.
Next, council on the police department. We have a resolution in reference to authorizing the mayor, city manager, and police chief to sign an agreement with Alabama Power Company for 2 license plate reader, also known as LPR, camera systems. Mrs. Davis.
Whereas the City of Phoenix City desires to enter into an agreement with Alabama Power Company for 2 license plate reader, LPR, camera systems for the police department. And whereas the City Council has reviewed said agreement submitted by Alabama Power Company for a monthly service amount of $541.68 under a 60-month service agreement. And whereas the City Council finds the agreement to be a necessity for the day-to-day operations of city business. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Phoenix City, Alabama, that the mayor, city manager, and police chief are hereby authorized and directed to sign such agreement with Alabama Power Company. Passed, approved, and adopted this 7th day of April 2026.
Thank you, Mrs. Davis. Council, we've heard the resolution at this time. I ask for a motion, please.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion from Councilmember Davis, second from Councilmember Florence. Comments, questions, discussion? Okay, Mrs. Davis?
Councilmember Day?
Yes.
Councilmember Green?
Yes.
Councilmember Bailey?
Yes.
Councilmember Florence? Yes. Mayor Lo?
Yes.
Thank you.
Proceeding on, council now in the utilities department. There's a resolution in reference to authorize the mayor and city manager to sign and enter into an agreement with Building and Earth Science Incorporation to perform emergency work and to install solar boring along Broad Street and 12th Street in an amount not to exceed $8,000. Mrs. Davis.
Whereas a water leak has to be repaired on the 10-inch water main along Broad Street where it crosses Mill Creek. And whereas said water main has become exposed where it crosses Mill Creek, making it more susceptible to damage. And whereas the water main along 12th Street has also become exposed where it crosses Mill Creek, making it more susceptible to damage. And whereas said mains need to be relocated as expeditiously as possible to ensure public safety and protect said water mains. And whereas relocating said mains should be under Mill Creek may be the best option for long-term protection of said mains. And whereas to determine if said mains can be placed under said creek, soil borings were needed to determine the type of soil and any rock which may be located where the water mains would be installed. And whereas Building and Earth Sciences, Inc. submitted a proposal to perform said soil borings for $8,000 and have performed said borings. Now therefore be it resolved that the City Council of the City of Phenix City, Alabama hereby declares the relocation of the Broad Street water main and 12th Street water main where they cross Mill Creek an emergency and authorizes and directs the mayor and city manager to pay Building and Earth Sciences, Inc. in an amount not to exceed $8,000 for soil borings for said relocations. Passed, approved, and adopted the 7th day of April 2026.
All right, thank you, Mrs. Davis. Kind of calm twist, man. Council, we've heard the resolution. At this time, I would like to ask the council for a motion.
Motion to approve.
I have a motion from Councilmember Day, may I have a second?
Second.
Second, Councilmember Bailey. Comments or discussion, council? All right, Mrs. Davis.
Councilmember Day?
Yes.
Councilmember Green?
Yes.
Councilmember Bailey?
Yes.
Councilmember Florence?
Yes.
Mayor Lo?
Yes.
Thank you.
Proceeding on, council. There's a resolution in reference to authorizing the mayor and city manager to sign change order number 1 with Cornerstone H2O to request additional parts for an additional amount of $31,950 and a total amount not to exceed $521,700 for the wastewater treatment plant emergency screening modification program. Mrs. Davis.
Whereas Resolution 2025-297 hired Cornerstone H2O to modify the wastewater treatment plant, Bar Springs, to improve the removal of rags and debris from the wastewater for the estimated amount of $489,750. And whereas Cornerstone H2O submitted a change order request for additional parts, which the Utilities Department wishes to include in the project. And whereas said change order would result in a contract price adjustment of an additional $31,950, thus increasing the total project cost to $521,700, and is more specifically described as follows. Change order number 1. 1. Small panel, 12 additional. Addition, $22,200, 0 days. Large panel, 5 additional. Additional cost, $9,750. Total additional $31,950. Now therefore be it resolved that the City Council of the City of Phenix City, Alabama does hereby direct and authorize the mayor and city manager to sign change order number 1 for the wastewater treatment plant emergency screening modification project. Passed, approved, and adopted the 7th day of April 2026.
Okay. Thank you again for that. Mrs. Davis, council, we've heard the resolution. This time I'd like to ask the council for a motion, please.
Motion to approve, Mayor.
I have a motion from Councilmember Green, may I have a second?
Second.
Second, Councilmember Bailey. Comments or discussion, questions? Okay, if not, I'd like to call for the vote. Mrs. Davis.
Councilmember Day?
Yes.
Councilmember Green?
Yes.
Councilmember Bailey?
Yes.
Councilmember Florence?
Yes.
Mayor Lo?
Yes.
Thank you.
And again, council, the Utilities Department is a resolution in reference to authorizing the mayor and city manager to sign change order number 2 with A.N. Smith Company Incorporation to furnish equipment and program for the SCADA SCNDA control of the bar screens for an additional amount of $17,472.46 and a total amount not to exceed $539,172.46 for the wastewater treatment plant emergency stream modification project. Mrs. Davis.
Whereas Resolution 2025-297, hired Cornerstone H2O to modify the wastewater treatment plant bar screens to improve the removal of rags and debris from the wastewater for the estimated amount of $489,750. And whereas change order 1 was submitted, which would increase the project cost to $521,700 if approved by the City Council. And whereas the bar screens can be run much more efficiently using supervisory control and data acquisition, SCADA, to automatically operate the screens based on water levels. And whereas A.N. Smith Company, Inc. submitted a proposal to furnish equipment and programming for SCADA control of the bar screens, which the Utilities Department wishes to include in the project. And whereas said change order would result in a contract price adjustment of an additional $17,472.46, thus increasing the total project cost to $539,172.46, and is more specifically described as follows. Change order number 2. Furnish 2 each Vega radar level sensors, 7-inch color touch screen, HMI, and network switch to be connected to existing Allen Bradley Micrologic 1400E PLC. Price includes PLC and HMI programming, also mounting of HMI and network working switches. An additional $17,472.46. Days, 0. Total, an additional $17,472.46. Now therefore be it resolved that the City Council of the City of Phenix City, Alabama does hereby direct and authorize the mayor and city manager to sign change order number 2 for the wastewater treatment plant emergency screening modification project. Passed, approved, and adopted the 7th day of April 2026.
Thank you, Mrs. Davis. Council, we've all heard the resolution. At this time, I'd like to ask the council for a motion, please. May I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
All right, motion from Councilmember Davis, second Councilmember Florence. So we have the motion, and we have the second. Any comments, discussion?
I guess, Mayor, looking at that price, once we get these prepared and clean, how often do we have to do this? Which, 539,000.
Mayor, just the bar screens are,
Talk about Steve.
once the bar screens are renovated, they'll have, maintenance, each year, but hopefully these will last, for, a good 7 years or so before they have to have any kind of major overhaul again. Depends on how much debris they end up, getting when they have to remove the water, but, we hope that with this SCADA system that's before you right now, that will reduce the wear because of where it's previously set up, it was running based on a timer, just every so often it would come on regularly, whether we need to or not. Now, if we get these SCADA controls in, it's going to monitor the water level, so when water starts to build up in the front, because of the debris, it'll know to cut on, it can operate less often, less wear on the bar screen. And also, this will give us the capability to connect it with other systems in our state, like the concrete lift station. So when it sees Mars flow come in, hopefully a lot more sheet on, then you can go ahead and start getting ready to operate continually until that surge or size.
being monitored, is that right?
Sir?
This operation is contained monitored.
Yes, sir.
But I guess, once we get this operation in order and whatever, I guess we only do it once a year. More than likely, it'll last at least a year or so, we think.
Well, it'll be less than that. Now, they'll do maintenance on it, continually throughout the year. As far as having to do something major, we should have several years before we have to do anything like that.
Okay. I think,
Yes, sir.
Thank you, John. Any other comments, questions, or discussion, council? If not, Mrs. Davis?
Councilmember Day?
yes.
Councilmember Green?
Yes.
Councilmember Bailey?
Yes.
Councilmember Florence?
Yes.
Mayor Lo?
Yes.
Thank you.
Next, council. Under the Utilities Department, is a resolution in reference to authorizing the mayor and city manager to sign and enter into an agreement with ADS Environmental Services for wireless sale and prison basic web hosting for flow monitoring and rain gauge, data collection, storage, reporting, and in an amount not to exceed $19,466. Mrs. Davis.
Whereas the City of Phoenix City, Alabama has a need to have calibration, operation, and maintenance services for sanitary flow monitors and rain gauges, and data collection, storage, and reporting capabilities for said monitors and gauges. And whereas ADS Environmental Services provides support for the wireless SIM and PRISM basic web hosting, which is currently used for flow monitor and rain gauge data collection, storage, and reporting. And whereas ADS Environmental Services has the expertise to provide these needed services and provides an online platform for flow monitor and rain gauge data collection, storage, and reporting. And whereas ADS Environmental Services has submitted a quote for wireless SIM and PRISM basic web hosting for 3 flow monitors and 2 rain gauges, 4 confirmation and service visits, 1 ADS AV max sensor, 2 rain gauge battery packs, and 2 worldwide modem poles at a cost of $19,466. Now therefore be it resolved that the City Council of the City of Phoenix City, Alabama hereby authorizes and directs the mayor and city manager to sign an agreement with ADS Environmental Services to provide the above mentioned services and products in an amount not to exceed $19,466. Passed, approved, and adopted the 7th day of April 2026.
Okay, thank you again so much, Mrs. Davis, for reading the resolution. Council, which we've all heard, and it's time I'd like to ask the council for a motion. Motion for Councilmember Florence, may I have a second?
Second.
Second, Councilmember Green. Comments or discussion? Okay. Mrs. Davis?
Councilmember Day?
Yes.
Councilmember Green?
Yes.
Councilmember Bailey?
Yes.
Councilmember Florence?
Yes.
Mayor Lo?
Yes.
Thank you.
Also proceeding on the Utilities Department is a resolution in reference to authorizing and directing the mayor and city manager to purchase a Caterpillar 305 mini excavator from Sourcewell Contract number 011723-CAT in an amount not to exceed $90,000. Mrs. Davis.
Whereas the State of Alabama Examiners of Public Accounts has reviewed and approved the competitive bid process used by Sourcewell. And whereas the City of Phoenix City desires to purchase the property hereinafter described for the Water Distribution Division of the Utilities Department. And whereas the Phoenix City Utilities Department Water Distribution Division operates a water distribution system. And whereas the water distribution system has pipes which are buried and have to be excavated for repair, replacement, and new service installations. And whereas the current mini excavator is approximately 12 years old and in need of replacement. And whereas Thompson Cat has submitted a quote for a Caterpillar 305 mini excavator with 18-inch and 24-inch wide buckets, a hydraulic pump, and other options from the Sourcewell contract number 011723-CAT at a cost of $90,000. Now therefore be it resolved that the City Council of the City of Phenix City, Alabama does hereby authorize and direct the mayor and city manager to purchase the aforementioned Caterpillar 305 mini excavator from Thompson Cat Resource Well in an amount not to exceed $90,000. Passed, approved, and adopted this 7th day of April 2026.
Thank you again, Mrs. Davis. Council, we've heard the resolution at this time, and ask for a motion from the council, please.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion from Councilmember Bailey. We have a second.
Second.
Second, Councilmember Bailey. We have a motion, we have a second. Any comments, questions, or discussion? Okay, Mrs. Davis.
Councilmember Day?
Yes.
Councilmember Green?
Yes.
Councilmember Bailey?
Yes.
Councilmember Florence? Yes. Mayor Lo?
Yes.
Thank you.
Proceeding on, council on the ordinance. This is the second reading. We have an ordinance to amend the code of ordinance of the city of Phenix City, Alabama. Chapter 82, Article 2, Section 82-20, related to establishment of water rate schedules. Section 82-21, relating to establishment of sewer rates schedule. And Section 82-22, relating to the payment of bills. Council, the first reading was on March the 3rd of this year. I'm not going to ask the clerk to read this ordinance. However, at this time, I would like to ask for a motion.
Proper motion.
All right. We have a motion from Councilmember Bailey. May I have a second?
Second.
Second, Councilmember Bailey. Comments or discussion or question? Okay. Mrs. Davis?
Councilmember Day?
Yes.
Councilmember Green?
Yes.
Councilmember Bailey?
Yes.
Councilmember Florence?
Yes.
Mayor Lo?
Yes.
Thank you.
Next, council, under the ordinance is a public notice in first reading. It's an ordinance to annex 0.35 plus minus acres of land lying in section 33, township 17 north, range 30 east, Russell County, Alabama, into an R1 zone, low-density residential district located at 2309 12th Street South. Cleve Huckabee, Stanley Huckabee, and Steve Huckabee. Council, I will ask the clerk to read the letter of recommendation from the planning commission, as well as read the public notice and ordinance. In the pleasure of this council, I would like to ask the council to take it all in one motion to accept the letter, to approve the public notice, and to place ordinance on first reading. Okay, council?
That's right.
Okay. Mrs. Davis.
The letter of recommendation from the Planning Commission reads as follows. Regarding annexation and free zone 0.35 plus minor acres, 2309 12th Street South, Cleve Huckabee, Stanley Huckabee, and Steve Huckabee, owners. The Planning Commission of the City of Phenix City met on Tuesday, March 24, 2026, to consider the request of Cleve Huckabee, Stanley Huckabee, and Steve Huckabee, owners, to annex and free zone 0.35 plus minor acres located at 2309 12th Street South as an R1 zone, low-density residential district. This request is prior to the approval of the annexation as followed by Act 2009-628 of the Alabama State Legislature. It is the recommendation of the Planning Commission that this request to annex and free zone be approved by the City Council. Sincerely, Tony Taylor, Vice Chairman, Phenix City Planning Commission. Elizabeth Phillips Wyatt, Secretary, Phenix City Planning Commission. The public notice and ordinance reads as follows. Notice is hereby given that the City Council of the City of Phenix City, Alabama, in response to a request made by the Planning Commission of the City of Phenix City, Alabama, will meet on the 19th day of May 2026 at 9:00 a.m. Eastern Standard Time at the City Council Chambers located at 1111 Broad Street, Phenix City, Alabama, to consider the following amendment to the zoning ordinance of the City of Phenix City, Alabama. An ordinance to annex into the City of Phenix City, Alabama, tracts of land lying in Section 33, Township 17 North, Range 30 East, Russell County, Alabama, said property to be annexed in as an R1 zone, low-density residential district. Whereas the City of Phenix City has received a petition signed by Cleve Huckabee, Stanley Huckabee, and Steve Huckabee, owners of the property described in said petition, requesting that said property be annexed into the city of Phenix City, and that said property be annexed in as an R1 zone, low-density residential district. Said property being more particularly described as follows. Legal description: a parcel of tract of land lying and being in Russell County, Alabama, and being known as Lot 1, lying in the northeast quarter and southeast quarter of Section 33, Township 17 North, Range 30 East, Phenix City, Russell County, Alabama, containing 0.35 acres more or less, and being more particularly described as follows. Subject to easements and restrictions of record. Whereas the City Council of the City of Phenix City, Alabama finds that said property described in said petition does not lie within the corporate limits or police jurisdiction of any other municipality, and further finds that said property is contiguous to the present corporate limits of the City of Phenix City, Alabama. And whereas the City of Phenix City, Alabama has considered said petition to annex and request to zone as R1 and is of the opinion that said petition should be granted and that said property should be annexed into the City of Phenix City as a R1 zone, low-density residential district in voting District 3. Now therefore be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Phenix City, Alabama, that said council does hereby assent to the annexation of said property into the City of Phenix City, and that the zoning ordinance of the City of Phenix City, Alabama, adopted the 17th day of September 2002, be amended so that said property is annexed in as an R1 zone, low-density residential district. Be it further ordained that a copy of this ordinance be filed by the city clerk in the office of the judge of probate of Russell County, Alabama, and a copy of said ordinance be published one time in a newspaper published in Russell County, Alabama. All ordinance or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith are hereby repealed by this ordinance. At said meeting, all persons desiring to be heard concerning the zoning of the above described property may appear before the council at the aforementioned time and place to be heard. That concludes the letter of recommendation by the Planning Commission, the public notice, and ordinance.
Okay, thank you so much, Mrs. Davis. Council, we've all heard the letter of recommendation from our Planning Commission. We've heard the public notice and ordinance, and at this time, I'd like to ask this council for a motion to accept the letter, approve the public notice, as well as place ordinance on first reading.
I'll just go ahead and down there.
Okay, we have a motion from Councilmember second from Councilmember Bailey. Any comments, questions, or discussion? Okay, Mrs. Davis.
Councilmember Day?
Yes.
Councilmember Green?
Yes.
Councilmember Bailey?
Yes.
Councilmember Florence?
Yes.
Mayor Lo?
Yes. Next, council, on the license application. We do have an application for an off-premise beer license and off-premise wine license submitted by Gas Express LLC, doing business as GX 727, located at 17 Ashwood Drive, Phenix City, Alabama. Mrs. Davis.
I have 3 letters. One coming from the police department. The letter reads as follows. Reference Gas Express LLC, doing business as GX 727, Amin Chitterwalla, 17 Ashwood Drive, Phenix City, Alabama 36867. I have reviewed the applications for off-premise beer and off-premise wine licenses, and I have no objection to the issuance of this licenses to this applicant based upon his criminal background investigation. Signed, Donnie Thomas, Assistant Chief of Police. Second letter coming from our Fire Chief, Kristen Kennedy. This letter is in reference to the application submitted by Shams Naji of Gas Express LLC, doing business as GX272, located at 17 Ashwood Drive, Phenix City, Alabama 36867. This applicant has applied for off-premise beer and off-premise wine licenses. This facility has been inspected and it meets the minimum fire code requirements for this type of occupancy. Third letter coming from our building official, Ray Rogers. This letter is in reference to the application submitted by Shams Naji for Gas Express LLC, doing business as GX 727, located at 17 Ashwood Drive, for an off-premise beer and off-premise wine licenses. This facility has been inspected and meets the minimum building code requirements. This office has no objections to the approval of these licenses. And that concludes all three letters.
Okay. Council, we've all heard the first reading. At this time, I'd like to ask this council for a motion to place on first reading, please.
Motion to place on first reading.
All right, we have a motion from Councilman Day, may I have a second?
Second.
Second from Councilmember Bailey. Comments on discussion?
I have a question. Is there a time frame for the actions, taken from another agency regarding the issuance of a license for one of the owners? There's no.
To answer that, you talk about the response from us at the city.
One of the owners, on the state of Alabama license application had an action, a violation under 2020. I'm asking, is there a deadline or time frame regarding any action on any of the owners applying for the license?
No, there's no time frame on the action required. I mean, the state allows them as long as they make sort of process and report in that process, then the state honors the existing license of the state.
Let me ask you a question.
No.
All right, thank you, Ray. We appreciate it. Any other comments, questions, or discussion? All right. Call for the vote, Mrs. Davis.
Councilmember Day?
Yes.
Councilmember Green?
Yes.
Councilmember Bailey?
Yes.
Councilmember Florence?
Yes.
Mayor Lo?
Yes.
Thank you.
Proceeding on, council, we do have a summary statement of expense in municipal court for Sandra Thomas. Council, at this time, I'd like to ask this council for a motion to approve an expense for Ms. Sandra Thomas from the municipal court in the amount of $370.19. I'd like to call for a motion for the approval of that expense. Motion, Councilmember Florence, second, Councilmember Day. Okay. Mrs. Davis.
Councilmember Day?
Yes.
Councilmember Green?
Yes.
Councilmember Bailey?
Yes.
Councilmember Florence?
Yes.
Mayor Lo?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Grant.
Mayor, Council, we have two claims on the agenda today. The first one is a notice of claim filed by Florida Funds at law on behalf of one of the lessees, as we discussed yesterday at the work session. This involved a house at 2308 Sanford Road. John's memorandum explains what all we've done in investigating this claim. And it's John's opinion and the utility department opinion that we're not liable, and I recommend that we deny this claim.
Council, we have heard the recommendation from our attorney. May I call for a motion for the approval of the attorney's recommendation?
All that motion there.
Motion from Councilman Day, may I have a second?
Second.
Second, Councilmember Florence. Comments, questions, or discussion? All right. Mrs. Davis.
Councilmember Day?
Yes.
Councilmember Green?
Yes.
Councilmember Bailey?
Yes.
Councilmember Florence?
Yes.
Mayor Lo?
Yes.
Thank you.
Mayor and Council, the next claim is a notice of claim filed by the fraud fund on behalf of Neil Gentry. Mr. Gentry is claiming damage to his yard and at 3,000 Mill Court. The damage that he's complaining about is actually on city property. He claims that his storage building that's on city property has been undermined. Everything that we've been able to determine is what he's complaining about is actually on city property. Therefore, I would recommend that we deny this.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Grant. Council, we've heard the recommendation from our attorney. I'd like to ask for a motion for approval of our attorney's recommendation.
Motion to accept recommendation.
All right, motion, Councilman Green, and that's the second, Councilman Florence.
Yes.
Okay. Any questions?
Yeah, I mean, everything he's complaining about will be within our control. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, we actually own the property that he's claiming the damage.
Yeah, we can. Damage our own property.
Right,
What you're saying, he's saying.
alleges that we removed the burn, which is still there
Right.
on the city's farm. And this building, you know, it's about, I don't know, a quarter of it on city farm. So, we just don't think we're liable to anything of that.
Well, that's what I was gonna kind of relate to. I've had several agree with what you're saying, that they even have stuff on city property. And they realized it was on city property because way back when, I guess maybe something was cleared, when it was developed or built, those houses were built. And like a lot of places, they probably cleared back a little further than what they actually own. So when people move in there, they look back and see another 20 or 30 foot back there, and say, well, that must be ours too. You don't walk it off. And you go back and start using it. So the majority of people that call me have no issue with any of that because they realize now that they were on city property and they either have removed their stuff or in the process of removing their stuff. And so, you know, it's a common error that a lot of people make. But, you know, I just keep trying to wrap my head around trying to figure out why people think, you know, we can't, as a city, or even as an owner, if they don't, can't, you know, put a burn if they want to, they can burn down if they want to. As long as they don't cause destruction to, intentionally to your stuff next door or whatever, I should be able to do what, you know, I need to do. And I think everybody else has found out that the city was allowing them, whether we knew or not, to, you know, have stuff sitting there and they don't need to remove it or ask to be removed, I guess, until the time to build these fields. So, you know, we kind of, I guess the way you look at it, they open up Pandora's box on their own self, is what I'm trying to say. But I mean, it would have been found out sooner or later anyway. It was nothing here.
Yeah, and I had one person, on the claim like this say, well, my house has been there more than 20 years, I've got it by adverse possession. Alabama does not allow the adverse to possess from a municipality or state.
No,
So if anybody gives you that,
that doesn't work here.
that don't work.
No. I just want to bring that up, that there are other people up there that are doing just the opposite, is what I'm trying to say. They realize that they've been able to use it and they're moving the stuff and, they're not, you know, they're not upset. And like I said, they didn't get caught in something, it happened. It happened, but now is the time to correct it.
Well,
Other people up there have been very cooperative and calm. There's a couple of people who did not want the Miracle Park there, period. That's right. And that's where a lot of this rhetoric comes from, you know, but other than that, other people have been very cooperative, you know, we have no complaints with them at all. Well, I've had a couple of them, they didn't need a place for any kids to play, much less with their special needs or whatever, and I told them, well, unless they, you know, moved up there since I've been a kid, that's 72 years ago, there's always been kids in Lakewood area up there, whether it was organized or not organized, and that none of those houses were sitting there when all Lakewood was being used and done that way, and everybody, including my father, who lived on Silver Lake Drive at one time, all moved in up there after the fact. So it's kind of hard to blame stuff on children that were there ahead of you. That's right. So, you know, if that bothers you, I apologize to you, but, you know, everybody gets a chance to be a kid, and everybody gets a chance to grow up one time. So let them be kids, let them enjoy themselves, and, you know, just turn your hearing aid off or your TV up.
But it does show you that we are.
The park was there before any of those.
That's what I'm talking about. I talked about that at church yesterday with my cousin, Terry Brewer, Terry Long. 68 years ago, would have been Henry Lake, which was HVAC companies. That's it. Exactly. So I mean, it's been there my entire life. Of some extra softball fields, churches, or whatever. It's always been there.
Thank you.
All right.
Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Appreciate it. All right, next thing is, council, we wants to, what's Sean? Oh,
Oh, we got to vote.
yeah, okay, but, all right, any other comments or questions? All right, Mr. Davis?
Councilmember Day?
Yes.
Councilmember Green?
Yes.
Councilmember Bailey?
Yes.
Councilmember Florence?
Yes.
Mayor Lo?
Yes.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Sean, this is something too, Mr. Day. I'm just saying, Mr. Bailey, what we want to do.
Good morning, Mayor.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I ain't got to watch 20 minutes,
You
Sean.
guys, you beat me to the lunch. You guys had an opportunity to hear this presentation yesterday, but since Mr. Bailey was gone, I want to give him the opportunity to give me grief, so we will run through this again if you guys don't mind. But you want to say something first, Mr. Lynch?
Yeah. The reason why I got you to do this, like I told them on yesterday, and with this being a televised meeting, I want to say something to Bean. I had a couple of chances to watch over the weekend, y'all, the showing of everything that goes here. It was real good. And this is, I just got to get the schedule out to a lot of our citizens so they can see what's happening. And the reason why I wanted this to happen, you put all this together, is because a lot of our citizens go by word of mouth. They don't get to see things here. And there's a lot of people that subscribe to Bean TV, you know, and cable. So they need to be able to see these things for themselves. So if they see it with their own eyes, it helps their whole lives. You know, and when you finish, I have a couple of things that I want to say to go along with this, as far as the growth and prosperity of our city.
So you guys approved the MOU for a proposed retail project last council meeting. And so we posted that, we wrote a story, or excuse me, the citizens wrote a story about that. Great story. We posted that on social media. We got a lot of really good comments, a lot of positive comments. But we also got a lot of comments that kind of opened up our eyes to an opportunity that maybe we should share some more of the truth to the community. Some of the things that we saw in there just are misled a little bit, so we wanted to change some of that, give you guys an update on some of the projects we're working on that we've talked about for a long time, as well as the community. So one of those things that we see a lot of is that there are no jobs, right? That retail tends to produce service jobs, but not high paying. Typically is what they say, not high paying, high skill, high wage type jobs. And so there's no jobs around here. Why are we going after that type of thing? So we wanted to debunk that. And so we'll start there. The logos that you see are an indicator, a small indicator of the companies within our city, but in our little bit larger region that are currently hiring today. So you can go and apply right now online for jobs at these businesses. Some are entry-level jobs, some are middle wage jobs, and some of the high-skill, high-wage jobs that you're looking for. So point out the numbers. Within Phenix City and Russell County, you've got 71 jobs available today, okay? On the bubble are about 94 jobs from the two new industries that you guys approved. Tax abatements for the end of 25, and also the expansion with one of our manufacturers, too. So 94 additional jobs. So give or take about 165 jobs available either immediately or within the next 6 to 8 months. Now regionally, so we share resources across the river every single day. We go across it, they come across here, right? And so when you look at the job numbers and how far people tend to travel for jobs, in our area they tend to travel 45 minutes. That's on average, what they're willing to do. This is much closer than 45 minutes as well, I'll show you. So without going through this individually, we've broken down the regional jobs from manufacturing to government to utilities to insurance to healthcare to technology, all spans the spectrum. Gives you about a little over 1,400 jobs that are available today. So some of these require additional skills, some of these require additional certifications. And again, we've got great community colleges, great technical schools that can service those and give you those certificates. So should you need them, if not, they're jobs that can train you on the job, that you can literally apply for a day and train you. We also threw in there because we realize that service jobs tend to be transitional jobs, somebody that's transitioning in between types of careers, or high school students or college students needing a part-time job. And so just in Phenix City alone, you've got 112 of those service jobs today. let me point out real quick, so the Phoenix City, Russell County jobs, those are just our top 10 manufacturers in the city. That's not every single person that's aware of. That's just our top 10 manufacturers. Also, while we do have jobs available today, we're continuing to push for more high-skilled, high-wage jobs. This is evidence of that. We received a city fund from the state of Alabama to do an assessment on a 125-acre tract within our industrial park that we feel like has great opportunity for either one large manufacturer or two medium-sized manufacturers. So we're continuing to pursue that. The survey on that property has been completed as far as that grant is concerned. They're right now working on the geotechnical and the environmental studies for that. As soon as that's done, our next steps are to begin to figure out what we'll do to clear the property, what we'll do, the funds that we'll get to be able to, do the path, making sure the utilities are where they need to be. So we're prepping this as good as we can to be able to market the property. And if I have any questions, you want to. So I don't, as I said yesterday, I don't propose to be the expert on this, but one of the things that was mentioned a good bit was about the leaks in the area. So I wanted to touch on that just briefly. So our utility department is working very hard to continue to fill these leaks. And so since December of 2024, so 14, 15 months, 635 leaks have been repaired. That's a lot of leaks. And that's not to mention, that's just the typical leaks. That's not to mention something out of the normal happens, like what happened on Somerville Road a couple weeks ago, where someone actually ran into a fire hydrant, and then now you gotta go fix the fire hydrant, you gotta pull everybody off of leak fixing, now fix fire hydrants and replace and repair those. So at any given time, so we have our crews that are out there working, but we've also got an additional, at any given time, up to 4 additional crews working on trying to fix those things. So a lot of people are being essentially employed by the city to fix those things. The city has identified multiple instances where utility infrastructure underground has struck our either water, sanitary sewer, or stormwater pipes. So some of those things that we're having to address now as well. Just really quickly, I want to talk about, so just the public understands the magnitude in which the utility department is working right now. So they've identified nearly 300 linear feet that they have replaced or repaired pipe on Mill Creek that needs to be replaced and repaired. That's been done. They're in the design process of 2 transmission lines along Mill Creek, so that project will be underway soon. They're planning comprehensive lift station evaluation. They're doing a manhole survey right now, and they're also doing a comprehensive sanitary sewer outfall evaluation. So I want to point out this is all on top of what the public tends to see, which is the leaks, right? So there's so much more to be repaired that most don't even know about. All right, so again, this was in the state of the city. I just want to reiterate, because resurfacing tends to come up. In 2025, we replaced 13 miles of, resurfaced, 13 miles of roads and streets within Phoenix City. Got a little over $2.7 million worth of work there. Since 2009, an average of about 5 miles a year has been resurfaced in Phoenix City. Some more, some less, but on average about 5. It just, again, drive 5 miles throughout the city. Just to see how far you actually get. There's a lot of roads that actually get resurfaced. So jumping to Parks and Recreation, I know I a big thing that a lot of communities pay attention to. So the hardscape, a lot of hardscape work on the stairs on the northern side of the lake have been completed. The retaining wall is up, the landscaping is coming in very soon. The ADA fishing platform, that's on the southern side of the lake, that is complete. Of course, they got to put the fencing and railing and stuff up, but the actual platform itself, you see on the bottom of the picture, that's done. They're currently working on the large pavilion, that is the next big project. And then they're going to finish the retaining wall on the northern side of the platform on the northern side of the pickleball courts are done. They've been very successful. I think people are excited about that. We want to continue to lean into that. So from that, the next project with the pickleball courts will be the bathrooms and the pavilion. So as I mentioned yesterday, I don't expect you to read the construction drawing, but I want to show you there's one design that we're focusing on, and that we are in the process of getting those things designed so that we can put them out for bid for construction. So that's the next phase. Also, we're adding a parking spots there at the pickleball court. Parks and Rec is going to continue to look into lighting, seating, and wind screens and those kind of things as future developments. Mr. Day, I jumped my gun. Could see something new in a second. So this is the latest and greatest picture of Weir on the field. So this is our inclusive recreation field that you guys were talking about just a minute ago. Again, it's, you know, it's able to accommodate wheelchairs and walkers and crutches. It's got, you know, barrier-safe play area, which is extremely special and extremely unique to the area. This week, they're looking to start the fencing for that project. So their Parks and Rec still waiting on the manufacturer for the field service. So I would expect that soon, but it does look really good up there. And I think we just approved what striping for that as well, so that'll look good for the next few days as well. Mr. Knapp. So again, where we are with this project, so I think obviously
That's a rendering.
Let's just say that again, it's a rendering, right? It's a concept. But what we're waiting on right now, the most important thing is that water line, the cost of that water line for the fire. Once that comes in, we'll be able to get the cost estimates together to determine if that rendering stays the same, changes, adjusts, whatever that may look like. I can't speak to that, but I want to say that we're moving forward with it, just waiting on cost and to determine the specifics of it. So excited to get space down the road.
Again, it's restricted, I think that water line coming from the industrial park, go next, that's on the backside. Yeah, on the backside. So that's why we're looking at a lot of that. It's a long line. It's a long line. This is the,
All right, so live edition, we talked about this a lot. I'm gonna show you some concepts in just a second. So again, for the public's sake, what this is we finally amassed enough property along the riverfront to be able to put together a community, I'm calling it a community green space for lack of a better word, a gathering space where we have commercial businesses that will surround it, that will feed into that gathering space. We can host events and concerts and market days and all kinds of different things within this space right along the riverfront. Really cool, really unique space as you saw in that video. So the latest is, and again, forgive me for just the image sake. I want to show you that this is progressing. I think it's the point. I don't expect you to be able to determine exactly what you're looking at there. We're going to get you some colorful artistic renderings that go along with this. This is essentially, so the top part of the picture closest to the river wall, what you're looking at, okay? This includes green space, hardscape, food truck area, a large stage. We were trying to determine the old oak tree that's sitting on that, what's sitting on that property. We had to make a determination whether or not they were trying to keep that oak tree there and let that be a backdrop to the stage. Well, you know, God had a different plan for that oak tree. Mr. Hunter already decided that oak tree probably would go down anyway. God made a decision for us and it's down, so we are moving the stage back. What that does, it gives us a much larger space to be able to use. So it allows the musicians to do a back end, the sound to do a back end. So it's going to be a really fun space. We did design the stage. The stage is going to double as a pavilion as well. So we want it to be, it's got to kind of good both places. We want people to use it 100% of the time during the summer and the winter months to be able to come and eat lunch and enjoy themselves, but also during our good times to be able to use it as a stage as well. So it's a very large stage. IT is, they're working hard on finishing the IT building. I went over there just the other day, and this is the latest pictures. It's all framed up inside. There's a lot of work going on. The elevator shaft looks to be, I would guess, Ray, you probably can tell the difference, 70% complete, something like that. It's built now, they're constructing the inside of it. But a huge space, great space. IT is going to really enjoy that. It's going to be great for the city as well. And then last but not least, I believe, yes. So the Village that Crosswinds, we're still working. So the Mexican restaurant, Sabercico, is looking to pull a certificate of occupancy permit or get that CO within the next couple of months. And they're pretty close on that. We're waiting on the traffic study. We're probably going to make those phone calls to get the traffic study after we get done with this meeting, because we need that immediately. And what that traffic study will give to us is exactly what's needed for that road to be able to be cut from Crosswinds Road to Crosswinds Drive. And so that's an important component for us to be able to get the retail, the additional retail that we're pursuing at that development. So we're really close to that. We got great property owners that are working with us. But again, we don't own that property. So I said that we don't own that, so it does require them to participate with us as well. And so we're hopeful to take great conversations, but not quite there yet, but we're getting close. So that is the down and dirty. So if you guys have any questions, I'm happy to answer.
I knew some of that,
Oh, and let me mention one thing, we are in conversations, I think Troy buildings come up with difference, we are in conversations, with, Phenix School Board about the potential of that building. And so, those are ongoing conversations, those are aggressive conversations, we're trying to push that on, that they want the space, with our understanding, and so we want them to be able to have that space and utilize that space for their administrative offices, for different school purposes, and those kind of things. I'll leave that up to them. But we are in really good conversations with them about the future of that stuff. Thank you guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Sean, thank you so much.
Also, hopefully in this next report, as we go down the line, we also have upgrades to the municipal building, utility buildings over there. We have that upcoming, and which is inclusive of also the building department and all the buildings over there. So we have a lot that's going on. Right now, the little things, we have upgrades going on to our security system. It's throughout the city, as you all probably seen in the municipal building, and what's going to happen even at, down in economic development, where they got to take care of that, and still some more over here in the public safety building. I'll be finished when I say a couple of things here, Mayor. As we seen earlier, and Don the things I asked for one thing. People who's watching this, and you see things that are sympathetic throughout this country and things that's going on in the country, understand that we have 500 positions of people that's here. Things don't go good every day, but treat our employees decent, common courtesy, at least. Because everybody deserves that respect. And I would be less of a man if I didn't say these things, because it's things that we gotta look at. You know, people have all kinds of opinions, but they don't work here day to day. You know, and we have to deal with certain things. And certain things you get below the belt when you make these accusations of theft and all these things that's going on with city workers or something's going on. People don't want to talk about the other side of the ball, how these apartment heads are approached with people who want to do illegal activities or do business with the city that they should. We are government. Everybody here has boundaries, whether it's this council, whether it's this city manager, whether it's appointed people that's running the department. All of us have boundaries. And those boundaries come with this city charter. That city charter is easy to follow. It's very easy to follow. The merit system is easy to follow. Unless it's just a true mistake or innocent ignorance. That's the only way some people should make mistakes and what we deal with day to day. Now, the worst thing we want to happen in this city is to have the DA doing an investigation or the Attorney General come to the city. Now, when we don't follow things clean like we should, that opens the door to that. These are the things I had to say as city manager, because I see some things going on where people are making accusations that should be happening. And I will never be a part of that. So, and the job capacity I'm in, I want people to understand where I stand at. And where I can't tell anybody else what to do. But I'm gonna tell you this. It won't be pretty for nobody if you fall into those hands or those circumstances. That would be an embarrassment on this city throughout, and that's something that I don't want to see. So for everybody, follow the system like you're supposed to. For those of us, we need to follow the charter like we need to. You know, these things may not go across. None of us are invincible. None of us are so big that we big in this city. You know, we should be humble servants. And anybody that's not in that league, something's liable to go wrong. Thank you, man. That's all I need to say.
So, we've been here a while. It's been a good council meeting. We put a lot of transparency out there that we've all speak up and show that we can hang our hats on. And we're very proud of that. So I'm not going to ask anyone to say anything else due to the fact that we've been here for a while. But I do want to say to all the people that works for this community is to keep their hearts in it, but also to the community. Let's make sure that our hearts are light and pure and wholesome. And it's okay to disagree, but at the end of the day, you still love each other and you don't flip each other. So let's continue to build our community, build this city, and think of other people more than we do ourselves. So with that, we do stand adjourned. Thank you all so much.